I was fishing in Terraria and wondering about what program I could write to practice Python, and I realized that fishing in Terraria is the best process that can be automated. The first thing that I had to do was to somehow get the screen images in my program. With a bit of googling, I found the code that uses the MSS library to take screenshots. I ran it, and I have a screenshot. Then a few changes, and I took a screenshot of just the game window. But this is only one screenshot. When we play, we see something like 30, 60, or even more frames per second. And I need to take screenshots all the time during the game to detect the movements of the float. A bit more searching, and I found an example in the MSS documentation where they use OpenCV and NumPy to record screen. I ran it, and it worked. I got something like 45 frames per second, I guess. Then I changed the code to capture not the whole game screen, but only the area where the mouse cursor is. And this part I implemented with PyAutoGUI. Now I need to implement the hardest part, which is motion detection. I wrote a mock algorithm and started testing it. But I also had to figure out what values we would get when calculating the difference between the previous and current frame, and also what threshold value can be set to detect float movement. But there is no threshold value that I've been able to find, because the waves and the mouse cursor are constantly moving. And because of this, I decided to recognize that the fish is biting not by the movement of the float, but by the movement of the fishing line. In this way, I avoid the problem with constantly moving objects on the screen. By changing the code, I managed to find the threshold value, and it is somewhere around this. And now we can see that when a fish bites, our bot can finally recognize it. Now when our bot understands when to pull the fish out, all that was left is to implement mouse clicks to pull the fish out and to throw the rod back, and also add activation and deactivation button. I wrote the logic for pulling and casting the rod using PyAutoGUI and TimeSleep. And now, when it's finally ready, it's time for testing. I decided to leave the bot for 15 minutes in a few different biomes to fish without my assistance. And as you can see on the time-lapse, bot is doing a great job, but I had a problem launching the bot in the underworld biome. Because of the blurring filter that is applied to the screen, bot constantly detected movement. I thought about how I could improve this algorithm, but nothing came to mind and I already wanted to sleep, so I just disabled this filter in the settings. Maybe in the future, if you like this video, I will try to improve this bot. So hit that like button, subscribe, and write something in the comments. See you!